welcome back to Pixels and Pints Up Late. This is our one-shot episode that we're doing for your auditory satisfaction. Tonight, we have a new little segment we're doing. It's a little one-shot episode. We're trying something new. We're experimenting in the world of audio synapses. That's not a sentence, Tom. Well done. But with me, as always, I have Pete.
Howdy.
And I've got Dan.
Hello.
And tonight, for your ears' pleasure, we are going to spoil the fuck out of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This is our little one-shot episode we're doing. We're focusing on the game that we all played recently. We're going to talk about everything, story. We're going to talk about soundtrack. We're going to talk about gameplay. We are just breaking the shit down out of this game. We've also decided for this new... whatever we're going to call it, this new format we're doing of these little UpLate episodes, that we are going to try and focus on one high ABV veer. This is the nightcap of our podcast episodes for your auditory appreciation. Oral pleasure. There we go. That's the words I was looking for. Obviously, I haven't planned this. So yes, sit back, enjoy, and let our sultry tones take you into the deep darkness of the night. Pixels and Pints, up late. Cue saxophone.
Thanks, Tom.
Well, fuck, I'm done. I'm out. You guys have fun. Right. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. This is a new format we're trying. So
full spoilers, one topic, one beer.
Yes.
Hour and a half.
Yes, snack not size. Our warm-up beer. Don't show that. That's not a thing.
Snack-sized episodes rather than the usual banquets. No more 3.5 hour. Well, I say no more. This won't be a 3.5 hour episode. So we'll do some of these, and we'll do mainly our normal kind of format, I think.
Hopefully, this is our way of getting some content out more regularly, because our three lives suck and don't gel well together. Yes. So we can put two of us on this.
I think they gel well together, just not the
time.
In terms of the podcast, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no. Our lives work well together. It's just, when we're trying to record, it's like two of us are ready and the third one's like, nah, fuck you guys. I'm not doing this shit.
I've got to work. Or I worked
something's
until
come up.
Stupid o'clock yesterday. Yeah, it's always something.
So yes, we would, but on this though, like this is a test episode, so please give us some feedback on this. That would be really useful. And if you want more of these and you like this, then we'll keep doing them. So,
yeah, good.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, time for the news. All right, so the PS Plus games for this month.
I'm going to hit my beer first because I've already opened it, poured it, and tried it, and it's delicious. I've got the Imperial Stout 12-month aged Bad Shepherd Brewing from Victoria. Ooh. It's 9.2%, and it's delicious and chocolatey and boozy, but really good black malt, hard, like bitterness to it, which I really love. So it says there's some vanilla aspects to it. It's obviously Imperial Stout, high ABV, so it's got a certain level of sweetness to it, but beautiful roast malt, black malt, burnt character to it. It's fantastic. Love it. Well done.
Good.
Nice. And what's it actually called? Is it the black can one, Imperial Stout Rum?
It just says Imperial Stout aged 12 months. It's got a queen playing card on it with the Bad Shepherd as
they released two versions of this, and the artwork is so similar. It was incredibly frustrating. It's just one had a very small underneath the thing. It said Rum Edition. Yeah.
This is not the Rum Edition.
Rum Spiked. And I found that one on Untapped, but not this one. Okay, cool. Sweet.
Peter, what are you having?
I didn't get the memo, so my ABV is not nearly as high as it should be. So I am drinking Little Bang Brewing's IRA, or India Red Ale, at 6%.
Classic IRA. Look at him. He's such an IRA as well. That too, like, you really got to feel bad for whoever posted that photo if their name's not IRA, because they just look like an IRA.
Yeah. As for the look at the color on it. Actually, you probably can't see it properly, but it's the perfect color for a red ale. It is what you'd expect out of a red ale. So lots and lots of malt. Very bitter. A little bit of residual sweetness at the end. I'm kind of surprised by that, actually. That's very different. Meet Ira. He's not an IPA, not a red ale, or some kind of pseudo Scotch ale, but a bit like all of them. IRA is different. IRA doesn't go for sports. He's not interested in school disco, but you should see his collection of vintage Spider-Man. He plays a mean oboe, and his cactus garden is borderline scary. Surely he's not the coolest beer style around, but beyond the socks and sandals, Ira's having freaky thrills we can barely understand. Booze and ibis, toffee, pine cones, pineapple and dank. Is he weird or just a new kind of awesome? Okay, that didn't really help me in terms of understanding what I'm tasting, but that's okay. Yeah, lots of malt body. Toffee was a word that they just used, and you certainly get a little bit of that, but just extremely bitter, which is everything I don't like about reds, but it's still well put together. So I'm going to give that a 4. I don't think, Dan, we didn't get a rating from you, did we, mate?
Oh, no. I'm going to give it that a solid 4 3/4.
Wow. Ooh. That is a big score.
It was very, very pleasurable beer. Very good.
Good to hear. Excellent. Tom, what are you drinking, mate?
Mate, I am drinking the Hawker's Winter, which is part of their new Four Seasons range. This is the second one of the range. It's look at the little skeletons having a fucking time. The first one they did was a red. It was their autumn. This is a triple West Coast IPA. It is 10%, and fuck me sideways. This is fucking good. We're on here, boys. We're on with a winner. This is super fucking hoppy. The malt's actually been taken back at a little notch, which is kind of really working. It's bringing all that dankiness through. It's got that
dankiness. I'm not sure dankiness is a word.
It is now.
Listen, I write the Oxford English Dictionary, and I say it's a word.
Your vocabulary is well above mine, so I'll take your word for it.
It's dankiness, baby. It's dankiness. Look, there's a sweetness that really hits through. That is really prevalent as soon as it's boozy as fuck. There's no hiding this 10%. You know, you get a couple of those Neepers lately, and it's just like, that's not 10%. That's, it's maybe 8 if I know my ABVs off the top of my tongue. This feels like it's like 15 or 16. This has really smacked me in the face with a real hit of booze, which is what I wanted from it. This is what I want from a triple West Coast IPA. I want to be smacked in the face with booze. But it's not in that burning way. It's blended in really, really well. It's a really well-crafted beer. It's super hoppy. It pours a beautiful golden color. Look at that. That is sensational. That is what you want. I'm going to drink this far too quickly, and we're going to see the side effects, and that's going to be fun for everyone, including me. But yeah, it's the only thing that really is a drawback for that, and it just hit home right then there as I took that sip, was that sweetness. It's that, like, when you get to that triple stage, it's just like, it's not like a really like candy like rock or like rock candy sweetness. It's that malt sweetness, and it's like, ooh, this is almost syrupy without syrup being involved. Like, yeah. But it's very good. I'm giving that easily. That's a 4.5, 4.75. That is right up there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
If you find this, go get it. It's just been released as well.
Yeah.
You see it, go grab it.
Yep.
But don't do it if you have to move
has
heavy machinery.
A lot of Hawkers, so I will go check that out, see if they've got it.
Yeah. No, that's very good. Then the red they did before, I think that's still flying around a few bottle shops. The autumn release, I've still got a can of it. I got 2 because I didn't check what I bought. It was really, really good as well. And it's cool cans. Very good, very nice.
It's nice. Dankness, according to the Cambridge
No,
University.
dankiness.
Dankiness. I think I'm not even sure danky's a word.
No, but so dankness is dankiness, Not so
Yeah.
much.
No.
Sounds better with an I in it, though.
Excuse me, I need to make a call.
Hello, Cambridge.
Susie Dent at the Oxford English Dictionary. Yeah.
Let's kick
Kick
off.
on. Yeah, Jedi Survivor. Tom, do you want to lead into this? Seems you would be busting at the seams before we even started playing it.
I've been waiting months to talk about this, and you fuckers just had to get on the bandwagon late, didn't you? No. This was...
I thought that was even just like, yeah, I thought he was like, nah, fuck it.
No, we're not talking about this now.
Taking
I've moved on. This was such a beautiful game. It was a moving story. It was an improvement in many ways on the original gameplay. I've got a big thing to talk about later about the music, especially hit me hard. And I know we've got like that. That's like Pete's put out that really nice like. Let's talk about the things in.
Oh, we don't have to talk about each.
Not
of
in that
those.
order, but I think it's a really good way to do it.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, the voice acting was for especially for the major
For
parts.
the main cast.
Yeah, it was very on point. There are Dan's made some very good points about some of the
supporting
actors. And I think the best thing for me was in terms, especially from a gameplay style of talking about it, and you guys might agree, disagree, was and I think we actually touched on it a few episodes ago, was the way that you just moved naturally into this game. Even if you didn't play the first game again before, like I played Fallen Order straight into this. But the way they go, you know what? Most of you probably played the first game. We're not going to baby foot you back into like the world. We're going to throw you in and give you a couple of like, we're going to make Cal feel like he's developed. We're not going to do the classic sequel thing of being like, a Jedi stole your powers. They've thrown you to hell, so you need to climb out of hell like God of War. Like, you know, the classic opening of God of War games from 1, 2, and 3 was always like, you've got powers, but you need to be sent to hell, and then you need to climb your way out, and then you start at level 1 again. This was all like, no, you're at level say 25. Let's get you up to 50. Like, it's a really good way to build on successes you had before.
I think it also, they actually did a recap. They offered you a recap at the start.
They did,
of the game as well.
Yeah. Same as God of War Ragnarok did. Yeah.
And
a lot of games are doing that now, which is really good because obviously it's a few years between titles.
And it also represents 5 years of time for Cal himself. So it was, it was a good little refresher. I think they probably could have done a better job of filling in some of the story beats from the first game in the refresher. But it was decent enough that you knew roughly what the fuck was going on when you started the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're talking about story. Why don't we delve into that? What do you mean? What do you feel they missed, Pete? Let's talk recap right at the very beginning before we even load into the new game. Let's look at the old game.
Yeah, I just didn't. I didn't walk away from that recap having a what I felt was a solid understanding of or reminder of the core storyline in the first game. Other than he'd run away, or he'd escaped Order 66, and then he was he was working. But I actually found it prompted more my own memories than it filled in memories. So if I hadn't have played the first game, then that recap probably wouldn't have given me a solid grounding of who Cal was and where he'd been and where he'd come from.
I think that's the only part of the storyline that was in the first one. There wasn't really a storyline other than his development and his interaction with the Inquisitors.
Oh, and him meeting Seer and all the characters on the ship, and then the characters going their own way. There was some slight romantic chemistry with him and Merrin, but never really played out. Yeah, I don't know.
I really found the whole first game was a reaction. It was a reaction to Order 66. It was the obviously he started by cutting himself off from the Force, and then he's gone back into slowly relearning through his own memories of his own activities, and that was actually one of the best things about that first game was the way they showed you remembering powers you should have had.
Yes.
So remembering how to force pull, you remembered your training with Jaro Tapal, and then suddenly you could force pull again. It's like that's a really cool way of doing it, because if you, like, anyone who would have like a traumatic memory like Order 66, if you go through PTSD, like, and like the therapy behind it, a lot of it is around memory and trying to process those memories. So if you can actually do that, it's like, oh shit, I can remember things better and clearer, and like they're not as like, scary and stuff. So like I thought that was a really, really, really clever way of them showing that. And then like, but that was the whole story for me for Fallen Order, was just that I've escaped, I survive, I keep going, but you don't have the future plan kind of thing. So it's like,
no, that's what this game was about.
Yeah, which is this where this comes in. Yeah.
Do you really think the game should have been named the opposite?
It almost feels like that, yeah. I mean, I understand why they called it Fallen Order, but the first game was just about survival. It was Tom, you nailed it when you said it was a reaction. The whole game is a reaction to events. And he's starting to find a new family, and then the family breaks up for some very natural reasons at the end of the first game, and then we're kind of thrust into the second game.
So the story for the second game, do you think it hit? So obviously we've got Cal coming through as a very accomplished Jedi within the universe.
For anyone who hasn't played it, who's listening to this and is spoiling the fuck out of this game for yourself, A, you're an idiot, and stop now. Put this on pause and go play the game. Like, just serve you, like, do it.
Come back in 30 hours.
Yeah. It's worth it. It's worth it listening to the
don't eat,
an hour
don't
and a half
sleep.
of us rabbiting on like fucking idiots. Yeah. But they say it's like a 5-year gap.
It is 5 years.
Yeah.
He's not the gap isn't as noticeable as, say, Luke Skywalker between Empire and Jedi, and Return. He doesn't come back a god, but he certainly still has his powers, and he seems calmer.
He comes back so much more Han Solo-y than he does Luke Skywalker. He comes back an arrogant piece of shit, and I fucking love it. Like, I really actually enjoyed it when he was just like in that first section when they take over from the senator, and like he spins around, he's just like, fucking got you, man. I've been doing this for a long time. You're my bitch. Like, it's like, yeah, that was good. Like,
until the Inquisitor fucking nails him.
Yeah. Well,
interesting you should say that, Tom. Under character development, I completely see where you're coming from. He's really got that scoundrel characteristic
swagger
going.
Yeah.
But they do actually, I felt they lean actually quite hard into some of the expanded universe or Legends universe Luke Skywalker, where later in the game he talks about the attachment, and exactly what Anakin was saying in the prequels, that they're encouraged to love. Attachment is forbidden, but they're encouraged to love, and this is where in Legends Luke Skywalker builds the Jedi, rebuilds the Jedi Order with marriages and children, and because it's those attachments and those bonds to people and family that make them stronger, not weaker. And that's one big aspect of Legends that they pulled and injected that into Cal. And as soon as he started to talk about that and become more attached to Merrin later on, that was where I was like, yep, I'm locked in with this character. I really like how they've expelled the Legends canon, and now all these people are cherry picking all these things that they go, that shouldn't have been gotten rid of.
Yeah, we
need to pull that back in because it belongs here. Okay, different character, similar situation. Let's load Luke Skywalker post Return of the Jedi into Cal Kestis and move forward if this is the timeline we've got to deal with.
I also think there was some beautiful juxtaposition in all of that against Bode, who has formed an attachment so strong to his daughter that he's prepared to do evil shit to protect her and to he justifies his behavior. I think that's the whole thing.
I don't think Bode was ever. I never saw Bode as pure evil.
No, he wasn't.
Sorry, just to go back to what you're saying, evil shit. It's just like, it's not evil. It's just pure survival shit. Like, it may be, if you were able to stand in a vacuum and go like, that's good, that's evil, sure. But
no, he knew he was doing the wrong thing though. He admitted that he knew it when he was when they had the big reveal when Cal walks in on his daughter at the end of I can't remember the name of the Imperial Starbase.
Nova Garen, yeah.
Thank you. he walks in and he as much as confesses that he knows that he's been doing the wrong thing since Order 66 as a way of surviving. And the only
but
thing
I
he
think
cares
that's a
about is
reflection
his
more
daughter.
on his throwback to like the Jedi doctrine more than like when you actually put what he does in terms of he betrays his friends, he does all this kind of stuff, but he does it for a good reason. It's to make his daughter survive. I think that's an inherently good thing. Is like to save your family. He's not just doing it for his own good.
But he lost himself in the process.
But he's purely doing it for the sake of his daughter. Whether or not he does it in the right way, but it's from good intentions kind of thing. I think that's where I took it from. Yeah.
So I think we can come back to Bode being a properly fleshed out character because
let's talk about who Bode was for anybody who hasn't played.
Oh man, his fucking jetpack was sick as fuck. How
but before
good
we
was
jump
that
in that,
jetpack?
the actual point I was trying to make though, back to what you were saying, Dan, is that is the type of attachment that was discouraged in the Jedi Order. That was the reason they discouraged attachment, was because you could use that attachment against people, and the Jedi Order knew that people did bad shit and justified it, or using that attachment or because of that attachment. And I thought that was a good juxtaposition between how Cal dealt with that situation versus Bode.
Yes.
Yeah, I see where you're both coming from, and I think I probably agree with Tom a little bit more that I don't think that he fell completely. And
he wasn't a Sith.
Yeah, so my problem with that side of it was if they hadn't have given him a red saber, I would have been much happier to have seen him with his blue or his green or whatever the color saber he had.
This comes back to the fight in episode 3, and it's the best Jedi versus Dark Jedi fight because it's blue saber versus blue saber. You can never tell who's winning. I've been saying this for fucking years. It is the best saber fight in any Star Wars film. Not because of the choreography, just because you can never tell which side is winning because it's purely an ethical debate, like in a lightsaber form. And you never know who's actually winning an ethical debate. Like one side thinks they're winning, one side thinks they're winning, but actually both sides are actually technically winning. It's just like, it was just, I agree. I really wish they hadn't given Bode a red saber.
Yeah.
I agree. Any other color.
Yeah, I think he hadn't fallen far enough because you see the love for the daughter, so he wasn't completely selfish, like the full how they talk about the dark side people.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't consumed,
I don't think he would have spent that time
he was
to
angry.
bleed that crystal.
He was not consumed. That's a very good way of putting it, Peter. Yeah.
And look, my opinion is Bode was well written as a bad guy. All well-written bad guys are complicated, layered creatures who aren't pure and who think they're the good guy, or at least don't think that they're the bad guy. That's just fucking great writing.
Yeah, I completely see where you're coming from. I don't think Bode thought he was either. I think he knew he wasn't the good guy, but he didn't think he was the bad guy. And I agree. Yeah. Come back to that old Star Wars quote from a certain point of view.
So
that's actually that's a really good way to look at the way that Bode was developed. Is that it was just from whatever view, and that's the best thing about I don't know if you did it, Pete. I know that I talked to Dan about it, but did you go back post game and run through the levels and find the Bode little Force memories?
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't think I found all of them, but I certainly found
but just
a dozen or so.
Even hearing half of them, it was just like the fact that they did that post game where they
was really cool.
Yeah, and it was just a really good way of also developing his character. I think there's one particular one that really stuck with me, and it's you're in the Luca Hulk, and it's on like the second level from when you just walk in, and it's Bode cheering Cal on. And then he goes, fuck, no, I can't do this. This guy is ruining what I need to do, and it's my agenda. And it was like there was like a cut
He was
point.
at war with himself.
Yeah. But it was that cut point of like, look, I love and respect Cal, and I think he's doing great things, but I just need to think about my daughter's survival, and as part of that, my own survival. Which is where I actually think, obviously that comes into the name, and like I think it's less about Cal, it's more about Bode, like in that sense of the word. Yeah.
everybody was talking about who is the Jedi Survivor, and I mean, it was talking about is it Cal, is it Dagon, but it's not. I mean, what Tom just said, I think Bode is the big vote. Who it's actually. I mean, I know it's talking about all of them in their certain way, but the one who really takes the show, I think, is Bode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And for those who don't know who Bode is, Bode's a new character to this game that you're introduced into the very first level on Coruscant, and he's part of Cal's
posse.
Yeah, his Imperial bounty hunting crew, I guess. And
they work for Saw Gerrera.
Yeah, they work
They're
for Saw
bounty
Gerrera.
hunters. Yeah.
And rebellion bounty hunters. And the big twist later on is that Bode was also a Jedi that you don't find out until about 15 hours into the game.
It's past the halfway point. It's well past. It's going to be three-quarters.
Oh, it's definitely three-quarters. Yeah.
Because I mean, you fight Dagon Garrett with him, and you think that's the big bad, and you're off to Tanalorr, and then all of a sudden they throw this big twist at you for the last sort of 5 hours of the game.
Did the twist land for you guys? Did you see it coming, or did it surprise you?
No, I was actually completely blown away, and I was slightly devastated. Like, I really cheered for Bode. I thought he was the coolest fucking dude, and then when he turned, I was like,
he was like a Calrissian.
Fuck you, man. Fuck this fucking fuck.
He was somewhere
between. Emma walked in to watch me doing that as it happened, and I was just like, but also then my mouth was like dropped to the floor. Like, I lost my bottom jaw. I don't know. I only picked it up 3 days ago. Kind of that kind of moment. Like, it blew me away. I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
I agreed with you when you played it after me, and you said you saw a betrayal coming, and you couldn't pick who it was. I never fuck you, Bode. Fuck. God, man, this is why I have trust issues. Jesus Christ.
The only thing I didn't like about Bode as a negative, like as a protagonist, antagonist rather, is when he's on Tranalorr and his daughter Tranalorr? No. Tanalorr. Thank you. Yeah. Tranalorr, I think, is where or Trenzalore was where Doctor Who was killed. When right at the end,
it was like the subplanet that Optimus Prime went to for his holidays.
It might have been too. Right at the end, and his daughter's screaming at him to stop, and his daughter has sided with Cal and Merrin, and I didn't feel like there was enough internal fight from Bode at the end. He just embraced, nah, fuck you guys. I've already picked my path. I'm not going to be swayed, and I'm ignoring my daughter.
Yeah, the last bit was to, no, I'm turned now, rather than I'm still conflicted. It's like, yeah.
And it would have been a rip-off if he'd redeemed himself at the end, in terms of they've set him up as the big bad. He can't come good right at the end, and everyone walks away friends. So he had to die ultimately. But I
don't think so. I think they could have gotten away with it. I think there was enough dialogue leading through to that point that if Cal beat him down hard enough, like he did, and God damn, that execution at the end was just chef's kiss.
Yeah.
The fact that he did it with the blaster and not the fucking lightsaber, Jesus.
That was a poignant return of the scene of handing him the blaster. Yeah,
yeah. I just think I think there was a point that they could have had him turn round and been a kind of character that was on the inside but out, if you know what I mean. They could have had him with the group, but never fully trusted, and somebody always has to be with him, and we're still watching
going forward. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it survived, yeah. If
it survived, yeah.
If it turned back, but at the very least, I expected more sadness in him, and if he wasn't going to redeem himself, at least at the end battle, internal conflict, to see himself at war with himself. He almost goes to his daughter when she says, "Please stop." You should have been able to see the tension in the air, and it just, to me, was just, no, I'm like blood rage. I'm already on this path. This is the only path I'm on. There wasn't even any sadness at the end after he realized he was dead.
It actually felt like and I know that I might get crucified for this, but it almost felt like a cheaper rendition of what Anakin did to Padme. in that he had that blood rage and he didn't stop to see what she was trying to argue. And like, I know people have their problems with the prequels. I think they're absolute masterpieces, except for episode 2. No one talk about that. It's you know.
We know you think that.
Yeah. But it's...
I don't like sand. Gets everywhere.
Yeah, that's episode 2, man. Like, don't talk about episode 2. Like, you know, you've got the middle child. You always forget it. You leave it at the bus stop. You leave it at the airport. Like, you know, whatever. No. It was that kind of... That was the vibe I got of like right when Anakin had fully turned to the dark side, obviously, by this stage. But like there was that part of Padme that was trying to turn him back. Whereas, you know, with Bode and his daughter, it was just like I actually thought it was quite well done in terms of like the way that parents often really dismiss the innocent view their children have, even if they're actually doing like I obviously see parents do dumb shit at the brewery all the time, and a kid goes, "Don't do that," and they're like, "No, you're right." I'm like, "I actually agree with your 4-year-old. Don't do that. That's dumb." Yeah. So it's kind of that one of the things of like, "Oh no, I'm older, I'm superior, I know what I'm talking about, you don't," kind of thing. Which I get, but yeah, I agree in that like you really thought that the daughter was going to just pull him back that little bit at the end.
That's
there.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing that I got from Bode, and you, both of you having watched Clone Wars, was just like, now I really want to see a Clone Wars style animation and Clone Wars era like show, like maybe it's a mini series, whatever, of Quinlan Vos and Bode being fucking spies during the Clone Wars. I think it's gonna be it could be like I love that what's the Henry Cavill Army Hammer that 60s the film that was like based on a comic book, and they were like Clone Wars, they're not Clone Wars spies.
Man from Uncle, yeah.
Man from Uncle, but Star Wars, but it's Quinlan Vos and fucking Bode. And Bode's got his jetpack, which is the sickest bit of technology I've ever seen in Star Wars in the last 20 years. Combined with Quinlan Vos being the fucking boss that he is. Like, that's my dream project. Like, you know, Filoni. Hello, Filoni, listen, make that.
Yeah. What did you guys think of the length of the story overall? Was it a good story?
I think it could have been fleshed out like a teeny bit longer, maybe an extra 5 hours.
I thought there was too much MacGuffin chasing here and there. If they'd fleshed it out I thought the story mission parts of it were fantastic. I think the time you spend on Jeddah and getting to the temple after you've gotten back with Merrin, I thought all those sequences that were story-driven parts to introduce you to a new part of the map were fantastic. And the thing I'm thinking of is I love Red Dead Redemption, but I find the mission parts, the story parts of Red Dead that introduce you to a new part of the map infuriatingly short. They're over in 5 minutes, and then you go, okay, here's your new area. You can now wander around in it. As where this sunk you into some of those areas for an hour. While you went through and you encountered all the stormtroopers and the beasts and everything like that, and then you can come back later on, and it's a little bit different as you go back through.
I think on that they underuse Seer and Cordova in that sense. Like I would love to have been a bit like I don't need Eno. So for those who haven't played, the guy you follow through Fallen Order miraculously appears at the Jeddah base when you get there. And it was a beautiful... I did not see that coming in any way, shape,
not
or
at
form.
all.
And I actually went, oh! Like, I made that noise. Like, oh, it's Eno. And everyone's like, who's Eno? I was like, doesn't matter. Like, it's Eno. Like, he's here. He's alive.
And then BD1's reaction.
Yeah, and BD1 goes fully fucking nuts, as you would. But it's just like, I would have liked to have like I thought it could have been a really fun section for him to like leave you in the bits of combat to be like, I don't do that anymore. I'm purely, but like also kind of like rip on Indiana Jones to be like, no, I'm an actual archaeologist, so I don't fight. I'm going to leave you to do that. I'm going to like jump up here and go start looking at the tomb or whatever and excavating and stuff. Once you're done with the fighting, come up and meet me, and then we'll go through and like have a little history lesson and kind of stuff. I think that was a misbeat. I felt he was really underused for that reveal as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just me.
Only to die.
Oh man, that was heartbreaking.
It was, and then it's not too long after that Seer dies as well. It's like just
Oh,
felt like I was
let's
getting
talk
fucking
about that.
punched.
Like, I knew Vader was going to appear at some point. I didn't know I was actually going to have to fucking fight Vader.
Jeez, it was good though.
It fucked me. I talked to Dan about this. I don't think I talked to you about this. Like, that Vader fight fucked me. It took me an entire afternoon to get through that. I don't know what. I think I actually
defeat
felt
him?
fear of fighting Darth Vader. Like, I think I actually choked up playing a video game being like, I can't beat Darth Vader. I think the first time I actually went through that fight, I thought, no, this is a scripted thing. I have to lose to him because like he's taking too much of a health chunk out every time he hits me. I was like, cool, I'm gonna. All right, I've gotten through like the second
that
section.
I'm gonna lose. Yeah,
and then I was like, cool, I've got to lose this. Let's just lose it and get through it. And then I was like, it reset me. I was like, oh fuck. And I got in my own head. I was like, I can't beat Vader as Seer. That is stupid. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's funny that the timing was perfect for me because I got to the Vader fight just after watching the episode of Rebels where Ahsoka and Ezra Bridges fight Vader. Or Vader comes down and disrupts Darth Maul and his plans and all the rest of it.
The best episode of Rebels.
Oh, don't say that. I'm only halfway through season 3. I was looking forward to some more amazing.
There's some good. There's some good stuff, but that is by far the most poignant moment.
That Vader entrance was really reminiscent of him entering the Hoth base too.
Yes, yes.
I thought that was a beautiful little touch.
Yeah.
Also, I love that now they've just. Sorry, I've got to focus on that Vader fight for a second. Now they've decided that Vader can stop a lightsaber with his hand. Like he could stop a blaster bolt before, and now he can do that. Look, it was a beautiful little moment in that cinematic fight sequence, like when it cut to that and he just goes, no, fuck you. But I don't know if Vader's ever done that before. And like I would love to, like, I didn't look through the expanded universe, but that was a little like, all right, mate, here you go. Here's a little power boost, like a little steroid injection in you. Like, yeah.
Just did a shot of Bacta before he started the fight.
Yeah, I mean,
well, only in Obi-Wan. That's the only other time we've seen it in live action.
Yeah, but this is post Obi-Wan, so it's kind of like they've gone like, oh yeah, shit, we should do that too. That's cool. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's fucking cool. Like, and given Vader's level of force power, he should be able to. Like, there's all this stuff in the expanded universe about people who absorb lights entire. Like there's in Old Republic, the main chick that you like see in all the trailers. At one point, she absorbs Darth Malak's like lightsaber into her hand. Yoda does that with Force lightning and stuff. Like Anakin should definitely be powerful enough to do that, but it's just like, oh, now he can.
Just came out of nowhere.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was convenient.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
We should move on to some of the other characters.
Yes.
What did you guys think? I felt they were well fleshed out in terms of character development for being secondary characers.
Oh, Greer's my boy. Greer,
he was less annoying in this game than he was in the first one.
I would follow him to the ends of the earth. Yeah.
I thought the main cast was great across the board. I think. Yeah, and main cast I'm talking about Cal, Mirren, Bode, Grease, Seer, Cordova. Them to me are the main cast. And BD, but BD takes the prize. BD was the best character in the whole fucking game.
He is brilliant.
The only one of those I still say that Cordova was underused, unfortunately. But in terms of voice acting and portrayal of character. Yeah. Because as I was playing it, obviously I was playing it at its kind of like hype release time. So seeing things especially on Twitter and Instagram about like the love of Turgle, I was like, yeah, Turgle was fine, but everyone like got behind him. I was like, well, he didn't do much. In terms of like the other characters in the cantina, the building of the cantina I particularly loved. Yes. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
As I said to you guys, it really felt like it felt like working in a bar again. Like, and you meet these locals, and none of them should be friends. Like, none of them should. ever associate. But for some reason, they sit together and have a drink, and they're placid. But if you put them in separate situations, they'd never coexist. Like Moran's my favorite dude. The most bitter fucking ex-trader, weird fucking dude sitting in the bar. I thought he was the greatest. I particularly loved him. I love that Monk was also a 1940s gangster bartender for no reason other than that was funny to some developer to be like, nah, fuck it, we'll put him in, see? Like make him serve drinks, see? He's going to shake up your cocktail. Hey, here you go. Here's some blue milk. Yeah, drink it, boy. Like, I really loved him. But yes, except for, I guess, Cage, the others, I agree. I found lacking. And the DJs were weird. Should never have been.
The DJs should never.
Some good music, though.
I get where they were trying to go.
But yeah, I could have just had a jukebox.
But it was weird. They were all weird. It was a weird little rumor. It was weird when you came up to them, and I didn't ever want to speak to them again.
I don't think I did. Actually,
well, I think you had to for one thing, but then also to change the music in the cantina. I always put the Who band on every time I walked in. So yeah.
Who are you? Wrong Who, Tom.
I hated Cage's voice acting. I thought it was terrible.
Did it remind you a bit of Omega?
Omega? I thought it actually was Omega. I had to look it up and see whether it was Omega. I fucking hated it. I thought it was really
It was one of the most
overdone.
grating and overdone New Zealand accents I've heard in a long time.
But was it... I felt like they couldn't decide if it was a New Zealand or a South African accent. It just
I got pure.
It was
Kiwi.
just.
I got pure.
It was
Kiwi
just
from.
I think they just got a kiwi fruit, a fucking banana, and whatever the South African fruits are.
No. They thought. No, I know exactly. Actually, I just figured out exactly what they thought. They thought that Tamara Morrison is a Kiwi, and he obviously plays the ultimate bounty hunter in Django and Boba. But then they thought, you know what? In actual world culture, there's a lot of South African bounty hunters. So let's just mash them together and hope for the fucking best.
Yeah.
And we'll put it in a Kato Nemoidian and just see what happens. Yeah.
Yes.
Terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
I agree.
And so many. This is. I've put my gripe about the NPC voice acting out to you guys.
Here
so
go. This is for you. Go.
I'm going to drop it here and then walk away.
Don't do that. Explain yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm going to explain myself, but we don't need to spend too long on this. The biggest letdown of talking to the alien races within the world, other than the two dogmen that were accompanied Cal in the Coruscant mission. What race are they? Do you know? You remember?
The Bulldogs.
The Bulldog man.
The NRL team from South Sydney. Yep.
So they speak their alien language, and they've kind of set that precedent from the very beginning, the very start of the game, and then almost every other alien you meet with it throughout the game speaks in some fucking drawn out American Old West Hollywood kind of fucking accent, like some rancher accent that would be in an old 1920s Hollywood movie. It was terrible. It's like, I can't remember one other alien in the game that actually speaks in an alien language. You run into what's Greedo's race?
The dude in the squid man, the guy that just randomly appeared in Rise of Skywalker, who was like the slug with tentacles.
Yeah. So even that race that was in the Millennium Falcon, in doing his mechanical work with no fucking hands, have you fixed this? Poe yells at him, "Have you fixed this?" on the way past. The guy doesn't have any fucking hands. He's an overgrown fucking slug. How is he going to fix anything? You got a straight up American accent out of that character. Okay, fantasy genetics aside, these aliens might not even have the vocal cords and the vocal ability
to make sounds
to speak in common, let alone ignoring every other part of canon that has come through Star Wars from the very beginning, from A New Hope, that aliens generally speak their native language, and people are fluent in a lot of these languages, so and common is only spoken amongst the humanoids.
In the Star Wars universe, the most common languages are galactic basic, which is English,
or
Huttese.
Huttese.
So but that's the whole thing is like you need to be able to kind of speak one of two of those to communicate in the greater Star Wars universe. Because after our discussion on text, I actually went up and looked it up. The other one they mentioned was Bocce, which is it's like a third language to me, as C-3PO says. But that's purely like droid language. So like you don't have to be able to speak to droids because generally there's translator or like they'll plug into a computer and you can read their readout of things. But yes, there should have been. If they couldn't speak basic, they should have been speaking Huttese.
But even
I've definitely come around on the way you were talking about that. I don't think every race should be speaking in their native tongue because it is like such a communal kind of breeding ground. But they should be either basic or Huttese. Yeah. I think that should be like a really, and I think it's a good thing for game developers going forward in the Star Wars universe that should maybe be like a basic fucking thing, like going forward, like especially the more outlandish. Like, Slugman, which when I say that, I just think of like Spoon Man, which is, the Soundgarden song. I just think of that, like Slugman. I just think he should be speaking Huttese, or like, especially like Rhodians should be speaking Huttese.
Rhodians, that's it. Yes, Rhodians should be speaking Huttese.
Or at least be speaking that to each other until you approach them to talk to them, and they can switch to intergalactic common. So at least in the background din of the cantina, you have the music, and then you have a bunch of foreign language. It would have given it a much more realistic atmosphere when you walked in.
It was actually really world-breaking for me. Every time I walked up to an alien, even if it was just a common person walking through the streets, and I'd just go, "Oh yeah, I'm just going to see what this person has to say. Maybe they've got a rumor they've just come to town, kind of thing." Mm-hmm. And just have a chat to them, and it just I was like, "Ooh, okay, that was quite jarring to hear that." But The Mandalorian is doing that a lot too. They are trying to make it accessible there. But one thing that once again, going back to the Slugman, the overgrown stale people, I should know all these. I'm a big Star Wars fan. It's the mayor in Book of Boba Fett that have the lips on either side of their heads, and then they have the microphone just outside their lips, which then translates it into a digital common. So they're speaking their language, and then it's translating it out to be heard in common through a speaker. And it's
that's an easy thing to put into a game. Like,
if you're going to have someone speaking Huttese and you don't want to explain that Cal should be able to speak it, one, because he came up in the Jedi Temple and should have been taught this shit from when he was knee-high to a grasshopper. And it was just really, really breaking for me, and that was my biggest hatred of the entire fucking game, and I hated the NPCs and I hated talking to them because of
an Ithorian male was the mayor of Mos Espa during the time of Boba Fett's takeover of the palace. For those playing,
I just found that on online as well.
And they appear in they do actually speak common in Clone Wars or Rebels.
Yeah, but
without the translator.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. One other pet hate that I had was after you finished the fractured buttholes. It left that the tear
had taste in your mouth.
That's called a tang. If you
it left the tear in the world so that you could revisit it, but it had that distortion effect as you approached it, and it fucking pissed me off. Particularly since there was one right next to Doma in her shop. So every time you walked into the shop after you did that,
I didn't mind that because I imagine because it was a force tear, like it would still have an effect even after you finished it, kind of thing.
Its radius was too much.
Yeah, it just you could not shop anymore without it.
Prolapsed.
It was coachy girl. But you couldn't shop anymore without that weird shimmering effect. I just found it fucking annoying. Anyway.
Oh no, you know what I found fucking annoying? The fact they brought back that fucking toad fuck. to fight. Fuck. He destroyed me for so long. And then you had to fight him and his dad.
It was his son, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Son of
the son.
Ogrelog or something.
Yeah.
Ogredok.
Oh, yeah. If anyone's played the first game and you're not expecting the fucking Toad to come back, sorry, Pete. He comes back. 50 minutes, 18.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fucking Toad, fucking Mr. Toad. How dare you? Yeah. He was faster too, and he was more savage.
He was, yeah, super aggressive.
Yeah.
Super aggressive.
I
Yeah,
actually really
pissed me
like the
off.
Force Tears. I know we all had that fucking annoying
I had a different one to you guys.
the agility one.
Yeah,
Or I thought the agility ones were dumb, and I agree with Dan because the movement was not as tight as it needed to be to do those kind of things. But
I agree. They were frustrating as
I
fuck.
found most of them to be like when I found one, I was like, oh, sick, let's go. Like I actually really relished the opportunity to go through them. Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that those aerial only ones were fucking annoying.
Yes. Yeah,
There was
they
two
were
of
horrible.
them.
Yeah.
There was two of them. And in fact, the one that I think Dan got stuck on, I got through faster than the one I got stuck on.
Which was one you got stuck on?
It was the other aerial one where
The
you had
zip
to
line one.
Yeah, the zip line one. Exactly.
Oh, when you had to jump back on the zip line?
Yeah,
That
you had
was
to
actually the
bounce.
one. That was the one I got stuck on.
Yeah, you had
I
to
found
bounce
that
between
fun.
zip lines. You had the lightning bolt.
I think. Oh, so if Dan was stuck on the other one I was like, is it because there were
that was the
there
wall
were
running,
three.
and
There
yeah.
were three altogether.
Yeah, the one with the balloons was easy enough. The
Oh,
grapple
the one with
balloons.
balloons was a fucking piece of piss. I saw a video on Instagram or Facebook the other day where it was like, "This is the hardest one." I was like,
No, it weren't.
"You haven't found the other ones, have you? Like, otherwise you've been hurt in ways that I've never been hurt." Like,
I don't even remember the balloon one, so that's how unmemorable it was.
Yeah,
for
no, the
me.
balloons ones are super easy. In terms of the combat ones, the one that was the most annoying for me was definitely the two Rancors because I got through it and then saved, finished for the night. I was like, I'm going to bed because nothing else I do tonight is going to be as good as that. And then the game updated overnight and didn't save it, so I had to do it again the next day.
Oh, that's fucking annoying.
And it was just that one hit lunge kill that really fucked me. Once I actually figured out that I could, I definitely spammed the double toad one.
Yep.
Because I found if you got one behind the other, they couldn't do the leap attack at you. So I would kill
yeah.
one of it and then be like, bye guys, see you later. Sorry, Pete, I did it again. I think they deserve it. They deserve every fucking C-bomb on the planet. Those are the worst. They are the worst enemies ever to exist in a game.
I had trouble with the stupid Rancor fucking grab and snack attack. The one hit fucking kill. That was frustrating as well because if you didn't quite if you didn't see it coming or you weren't expecting it or your attention was temporarily taken away by another enemy, you just game over. And it didn't matter.
Well, that was the
how
same
strong
with
you
the
were.
toads, the tongue
With
one.
the tongue
'cause
attack, yeah.
If you dive to the left or right, just that half second too late or too early.
Too early.
It was all over.
But you're like, I
was at full
I'm
health.
getting angry again. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just like I definitely dodged that.
We're kind of in level design now, so I might shuffle this. Well, we're kind of talking about the challenges and the puzzles, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
I thought the level design was beautiful. I particularly enjoyed the layout of Kobo. I thought Kobo was great. The only thing I had an issue with was two desert planets in the one game felt a bit too like safe, I guess is probably the better way to do it. It wasn't lazy. Definitely they felt different. They were different. One was like savanna versus like actual desert. But I would have enjoyed having another like more like varyingly different scape to go through, like because that was the beautiful thing about Fallen Order. Was like even though you got to visit Ilum for like half a second, it was still a snow planet that you got to go through. You went to Kashyyyk; it was a full forest. planet.
Yeah. I liked Kobo. I disagree in the sense that I think there was enough. It wasn't desert-like in a lot of places. You had the forests. The forest array quest was probably my favorite part in terms of game design or level design. It was pretty. I think the Shattered Moon was cool too. That was a very different
the Shattered Moon was
environment.
great. I loved running around that. Yeah.
Lots of different levels to play with, particularly going back to collect all of the collectibles that I missed the first time. That was a lot of fun.
How good is fast travel in one of those games?
Oh, yeah. 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 Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Did you guys hate any of the planets? Just
No?
Oh, I think I probably would have liked a bit more on Nova Garen, maybe.
Yeah, I would have too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Tanalor was
it just
way
felt like you
underused.
literally scraped the surface. In terms of Tanalor and like how limited you had on that, I actually didn't mind that. I felt it was like it definitely felt like a tease for the third game, which they're obviously going to make.
Yeah.
Where you fully get to explore Tanalor. In Kobo I could not get enough of Kobo. I would roam that for hours, just doing nothing.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I found Jeddah. I thought Jeddah was the puzzle temples were cool, but apart from that, it was just an annoying
The base was the more complicated puzzle. Like finally figuring out the base to get everything around the base. I was just like, "Fuck, that took me forever." But I agree. Those puzzle temples were cool.
They're a lot of fun.
It was nice to go back to Jeddah. I think that was the best
Jeddah.
thing. Yeah,
I loved Jeddah. I loved all the storyline stuff on Jeddah. I thought it was. I thought it felt like Jeddah.
Yeah.
And this doesn't just apply to Jeddah because I think it applies to the whole game, and maybe it applies to Jeddah more because we've seen it in Rogue One. But it felt like Star Wars.
Yes.
Oh,
I agree
for
with
me,
that.
Kobo felt pure Star Wars.
Mm.
Yeah, Kobo felt like pure frontier, like frontier spaceport, and probably maybe a bit Mass Effect-y. But I really like the feel of Kobo. I could have run around Kobo. I honestly, I really loved the addition of the High Republic. I thought that was the best move they made post Fallen Order to bring in a lot of really deep High Republic lore. And I said to you guys when I first started playing, I was like, holy shit, this has opened up a whole new era of Star Wars I've never touched. Because I hadn't touched any of the High Republic stuff in comics or books, or there's no real like shows or anything else around it.
Nobody's touched it in the Disney High Republic books.
No.
Sold fuck all.
Yeah, but like I've gone now and read the Marvel High Republic comics.
Okay.
Like it made me want to read those, and I think it's such a cool concept of an era. Like,
I love
wanna
the
see more
Art
come from
Deco.
it. Yeah,
I love the Art Deco droid.
Yeah. Z was cool. Z was fucking cool.
Oh, no, I could have put Z in a trash compactor and been quite happy.
She was clearly
Z's design,
like crazy.
I think was what we're saying.
I like Z's design. Yes,
Yeah.
I do like Z's design. Yes.
But she was clearly glitchy in the head, right? So
Yeah.
there was a couple of wires crossed up top.
I like that. I think the thing that really got me with that story, if we're talking about like level design and story and like the whole like meshing it together, like getting Grease back to pilot really made it for me. Like I don't want Cal to be. Cal needs a support crew because he's always carrying all that shit on his back.
Plus, you don't want to be the all singing, all dancing antagonist or main character when the whole point of the story from his perspective is it's about place in the universe and family.
Yeah.
It's about putting down roots, and it's about it being okay to fall in love and think to the future. He couldn't have done that without a supporting cast.
No, you're 100% right. And just, I think having Grease back in the pilot seat, and it's one of those things like, I put Jasper in the car with me now to take him to the vet, and I'm like, take a seat, Cal. And he just looks at me. Wait, grab some seat. We're almost there.
So just on the Grease and a couple of the others, it was very the humor that they injected in there wasn't anything new, but it was very well timed.
I agree.
They
not new
the
but
voice
fresh.
actors,
Not new but fresh.
Yeah, and I guess fresh for that world as well. It stepped away from the
between Grease and Merrin was very receptive of what they had at the end of Fallen Order. As you started going back through the levels to collect everything. But when they were doing this, it was just like, still got it. Yep, well done.
But it made it feel fleshed out. It made it feel like the crew was more than just a supporting cast for Cal. They were actually interacting with each other when you weren't around.
And some of it was quite subtle too. I mean, the big ones you're talking about with Grease piloting is him screaming once they get out of the hyperspace jump to Tantalore. He's still screaming, and they're there. So that was one big point.
Oh, look, I literally wasn't. I was literally talking about just the interaction between planets.
Banter.
Oh no, I know you were, but that was what popped into my head. And the other very subtle, humorous part was after Merrin surprise kiss Cal, and Cal's standing there with a dumb look on his face, and BD just gives him this little tap on the shoulder, and it's like just that. It's just that
Snap out of
2-second little tap from your droid buddy on your back, and he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, right here, yep, cool."
Which
what are we doing?
takes you back to that. Like, there's a classic meme from episode 3 of Anakin and R2, like between going to the planet, and they're just like, "Hey man, is R2's just like, hey Anakin, is everything okay?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, everything's fine." It's like, "You sure? You want to talk about what just happened on Coruscant, maybe?" It's just like, "Nah, bro." It's like, "Yeah, man, your droid sees fucking everything. Like, you got to remember that. It's like your phone; it's constantly recording." Like, the way they upped the BD Cal interaction was subtle enough, but really good enough.
Finding every time I found one of the stim
packs
things, I was wondering what little animation are they going to do?
Man.
Their little elbow bumps. And
So, like, I really want to talk about the music. The music, obviously, is a really special part for me.
Can I just throw one more BD thing in here that I noticed that people probably have just before you blow a valve? In one of it happens randomly, whichever planet you're jumping to, and BD's standing on the console up the front, and he looks at Grease and he shuffles over to the button and he taps the button, and then he quickly shuffles back and looks at him, and there's this little twitch of his head while he looks at him.
And Grease never notices. Yeah.
It's those beautiful little things, and especially if you're not standing in the cockpit when that happens, you miss it. Like if you're off doing other things, it's just those beautiful little attention to details and the fleshing out of the crew.
Absolutely,
And BD that beeps and boops, like he speaks in binary, like, and he's got so much personality. He's not a pet. He's not a pet.
That move that you're talking about reminded me so much of one of my old cats. It's exactly the sort of shit they would do to get your attention. And I know the intent was different between what you just described but my cat would literally sit on the top shelf.
Yeah, but your cat's not putting in the navigation points for hyperdrive.
No, true. But she would literally sit on the top of the shelf, and if she wanted my attention, I was ignoring her, she'd push something off the shelf and then look at me and put her paw behind the next object. Yeah. And she would literally threaten me.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminded me of that kind of personality.
I get where you're coming from. It was that pet-like thing of...
It was,
but it was also BD going like, "Grease, you forgot this button again. Like, I'm just going to push it, and you'll..." But it's not letting Grease know that he's never pushed that button. It's just like, I'm always here. That was my button when you weren't here for 5 years. I pushed that button, so I'm going to keep doing it. Yeah.
I loved it. Yep. I loved all the animations. Yep.
Yes, yeah, I really want to talk about the music because obviously I'm a massive John Williams diehard. Like, so for those who don't know me, and God bless you, you're welcome. But I listen to some form of Star Wars music at least once a week, whether it's a cover, whether it's a soundtrack, whether it's like, I messaged you guys before. I was like getting G'd up for this episode. I was listening to the Jedi Survivor soundtrack again. I haven't really come across a good successor for John Williams. Obviously, John Williams is 95. He's going to die any day now. I hate the idea of that happening. I will be devastated when that happens. That man has influenced my life more than most people I've ever known. And I've never met the guy, but he has an integral part in my heart and soul, and has for many, many, many years. But Jesus Christ, Stephen Barton and Gordy Harb have really encapsulated the John Williams-esque atmosphere, the tonality, the instrumental use, the way they create the music, which is a homage to everything that John Williams has created, but at the same time, it is taking a step back and going, hang on, this is our music. It's like, this is the thing. It's our music. It's not John Williams' music. We obviously need to play to his strengths, but we're going to add our own flavor to it. I think is one of the cleverest fucking things I've ever heard in music in the last decade, 20 years, whenever. John Williams, like, as much as I believe in him as a creator and a musician, and this is going to sound controversial, he's a ripoff. John Williams really based a lot of his music in the late 20th century Russian composers. So a lot of Prokofiev, a lot of Dvorak, a lot of Rachmaninoff. Like, that's where he got all his influences, and it's beautiful. The way he's brought them into the modern 20th century, like, filmmaking things, and the way he's brought it into like because it's what is it? It's the way you describe that music is picturesque is not the way, and my mum would be killing me right now if she could hear me saying this. But it invokes imagery in your mind. You hear the symphony of the twin sons of Tatooine, and you think twin sons. Like, it's just that kind of that kind of music, and the way these guys have done it. Compared to some of the other composers that have taken over a lot of the Star Wars music, because obviously John Williams he's 95. He can't compose everything anymore. Classic example is Rogue One soundtrack. Great soundtrack. Don't get me wrong. Sounds like Star Wars, but that was Michael Giannocchio. I'd probably absolutely butcher that. Michael, he did the most recent Star Trek films as well. He's done Doctor Strange. He's one of the busiest fucking dudes in like modern composing for films.
Giacchino, I think it is.
Giacchino, yeah, Giannocchio, whatever. I don't know. I can't. I've never met the guy. He can correct me when he comes and has a beer with me. But like, the thing with his Star Wars music is, and especially all his other music is, you can feel his theme coming through again. It's like his line through that. I really find the way that Stephen Martin and Gordy Harb blend the way they create the Star Wars music into their own line of like adding their little like touch to it is seamless. I think it's one of the best. Like, they are the two guys to take over from John Williams to compose any sort of Star Wars music going forward. Kevin Kleiner, who did all of the Clone Wars and Rebels music, is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But these guys just feel more John Williamsy in the way they create it.
It was seamless. I think seamless is the right word.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Yeah.
You can't tell where the original music stopped and the new stuff started.
No.
And their rendition, the music in Sia's funeral. Fucking, oh boy.
Yeah.
So if anyone's actually, if I can give I've saved them. So my three, I did 4 tracks I saved from Jedi Survivor, and they did the music for Fallen Order too. Don't get me wrong. So go back and listen to the Fallen Order soundtrack. Especially there's the two ones I particularly loved were Cal in Fallen Order with Cal Kestis and Failure Is Not the End. Failure Is Not the End is the music they play when Cal finally gets his saber crystal. That is amazing. Gordy Harb, by the way, who's the second composer in that, he did all of the Battlefront music for Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, the remakes. But then when you go into Jedi Survivor, the Frontier Welcome, Where the Neckos Roam. Where the Neckos Roam is one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars music I've heard in 20 years. It is beautiful. It is such a way of encapsulating the idea of a frontier. There's a lot of like soft trills going through the start and into like a really rousing brass thing, and that is classic John Williams as well. You need that big brass section to come through. Where the Neckos Roam, I could listen to that. A Frontier Welcome, and then Where the Neckos Roam. but they're all around Kobo. They're the Kobo music, like the Kobo background music. They were amazing. The guys they got in to do the riding on the back of the space camels, that scene where it's Marin and Cal riding on. It's called Fields of Dusk. It's by a band named Tatran. They have an orchestral version which you can find on Spotify. That's also amazing. It's really, really, really peaceful and relaxing music. Very good if you're like trying to focus on something. So I really recommend that track. And then Cold Dawn, which is that's the burial one, which, you know, it chokes you up, but like but again, it's just the way they encapsulate that John Williams-esque, the atmosphere, the tonality, everything. I'm sure there are music guys out there who could fault them, but I cannot fault them. Like, yeah. I absolutely love those 4 tracks, and I really recommend if you want to listen to anything from the Jedi Survivor soundtrack, they are the 4 that I could highly recommend that you go back and listen to. Anyway, that's my music John Williams rant.
That's good. Who was the band in the cantina that was very almost throat singer?
The Who band.
Norwegian.
That's the Who band.
The Who band.
That's the Mongolian
you
one.
You listen to me, you fucker. That's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, you just called them the Who, but is that the name of the band?
The Who band. HU.
Okay.
HU.
Okay.
Yeah, Al went on about those guys.
Go look up their shit on YouTube, man. It's fucking excellent. The Wolf Totem was their first. Big.
I have looked them up. I have looked them up. This is I think you and I have talked about them before. Okay, now that I know they're the Mongolian folk metal band, that's exactly what. Yeah, I kept putting them on every time I went into Pylon Saloon.
That's who I put. They're called the Asgard or something.
Agassar.
Agassar.
I had to look it up because I was trying to figure out what the fuck I was thinking of. Cool. Shall we move on to the mechanics? I mean, I want to talk about lightsabers. Let's talk about lightsabers.
Let's talk about lightsabers. I've got a pee, so you guys start.
All right. I mean, we already talked about it. So what was your favorite lightsaber style? Because there's 4 styles in the game now. 4?
5.
5. Yeah, the boring old single-handed.
Let's not say boring old single-handed. It is the classic single-handed.
The classic single-handed.
Well, I think this is a really cool, fun thing to talk about from the first game and the development of this. So in the first game, you could either have single-handed or you could have dual-bladed. And then eventually, for story reasons,
right at the end,
you had a special ability, which was a dual saber attack. In this game, they've started you out relatively early with single double-bladed or dual. And then as you go through the story, you eventually get blaster style, or then you get crossguard, which is your claymore or very heavy saber. Dan, I don't know if Dan sent it to you. There is a very good video on, I think it's Kotaku's YouTube or website of a world-renowned sword specialist ranking the actual combat for Jedi Survivor. It's very, very cool if you're ever into that. If you're not into that, it's the nerdiest fucking thing you'll ever watch. But it's actually cool. What he says is how like actual research they did into those sword fighting styles and the way they use them. I
watch a lot of those random videos on YouTube. It's like how real is the sniping, or how real is the medieval siege warfare, or
So I favored, of the 5 styles, I favored blaster and dual wield.
Okay.
Yeah.
And dual
wield. And you favored?
So I switched halfway through. I respect. I was going to ask you guys if you guys ever respect throughout your play.
No, once I got the ability to shoot in the face,
Again with the C word.
I've been drinking all day.
It's an UpLate. It's an UpLate.
It's an UpLate. Yeah, we swear all the time.
The Americans won't listen to it.
That's fine. What are they?
It's a culture thing.
I'll fight a lot of them.
We can send our kids to school and not worry.
Tom Saber styles, and then I'll
Oh, I described all 5 saber styles, and then we were saying I was single blade, dual blade, and then blaster. And Pete was saying that he respect.
Yeah, so I started with double bladed, and then started using crossguard, and I had already spec'd into double bladed. and then started speccing into crossguard. Then I used my free respec and started again with dual weld and crossguard. And so anytime there was a boss fight or any of the larger droids, the massive raider with the hammer, I'd switch to crossguard. But for the most part, for day-to-day droid cleanup and troopers, it's all dual weld.
To tears, yeah.
Oh, it just does so much damage, though.
No, it's just too fucking slow.
You just got to get the timing right.
Yeah, well, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
If I'm drinking while I'm playing Star Wars, I'm not getting timing right, am I?
It's the problem with Souls S games. It's all about timing.
Yeah, I did crossguard and dual blade. I did respec because I dropped all of my points into just single blade because that's how I wanted to play it. And that felt really underpowered.
Yeah.
While I was playing it, and it felt like really they were pushing you. They were pushing you out of playing it in a Fallen Order style.
I agree.
They were pushing you to the other styles,
which makes sense because you want Cal to grow. Like you want him to move away and develop something else. Like I think that's a good point from like a story style. I loved the customization of the blaster. I thought.
So many. Well, not so much blasters. I have to admit, I only customized it once or twice because I didn't play with a blaster.
Well, you didn't use it, so that makes sense. Yeah.
But the customization options in the lightsabers as well, and BD1, fuck me, they spent a lot of time building.
Yeah,
these
did you?
Parts.
I actually really didn't customize BD1 past.
Nor did I.
I originally got him how I kind of liked his look because I had a few of the like the R2D2 astromech one, and then like one other one, and like at the start, and I think I basically had his basic head, his basic like antennas. He had the R2D2 like astromech body and legs, and whatever else was the option. Was there one more option? There were 5 options you could customize them with. But yeah, it was like I had them from very early on. And then
head, ears, visor, body, legs.
Yeah, visor. That was it. I think I eventually changed him to like the Geonosian visor because I thought it was funny. But I
used Geonosian for all of them.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you're right.
And he matched my lightsaber in terms of color as close as I could.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
As close as I could.
I put him in a red, white, and blue mix of R2 and R5, and I didn't change him from the start. Yeah.
But it's funny because
I customize a lightsaber every chance I got. As soon as I found a new color, I was like, "Oh shit, I need to try this out." Yeah,
it's funny because I did the same, but I actually only stuck with my changes twice. So I'd always try out a new paint scheme or a new part, but I really the color scheme only changed really. I after tailoring it initially, I really only changed it once halfway through the game, and that was after I unlocked a very specific paint scheme.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, it didn't really change. The parts themselves changed, but the actual lightsaber itself didn't. And I had the samurai sword grip for the entire fucking game.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the traditional weave.
Yeah,
I used that one too.
Was it the one I can't remember?
I loved
what
it.
I used. Yeah.
So the cover art for this episode will be my drawing interpretation of our 3 lightsabers. So for those listening at home, you'll be able to see what we're talking about.
Yeah. So as soon as I unlocked the Beskar medal,
I messaged Dan as soon as I unlocked the Beskar one. I was like, "You're missing out," and he goes, "Oh fuck, I need to play this game."
Yeah, I think I bought it the next day or 2 days later or something. But I didn't use it on the blaster. I put it on the lightsaber. I liked it better on the lightsaber. I loved the
wood. I ran through every single wood handle I could for my lightsaber. My lightsaber really was a mix between Obi-Wan's, Luke's, and then my second. But that was on my main saber. Was definitely a mix between Obi-Wan and Luke's. My blaster, I made it as chunky as fucking possible because it just, especially when you did like, I don't know if you ever used that move, Pete, of the close-up blaster reaction,
the hip shot.
You have to get the platinum.
Oh, for the trophy. But I used that far too often because it was just like it was so meaty,
satisfying.
Yeah. Oh, the way that hit. So I had like a really like gunslinger. Like I sent
the Greedo shot.
It was a real gunslinger, like Western one. I didn't use the crossguard at all, despite the fact I made my my crossguard angle a Witcher silver sword, as you have to do because that's just the law. I didn't use it once after that. I think I literally did it to take a photo to send to you guys, but then after that, I didn't use it.
I tried every style because by the end of the game, by the time I platinumed the game, I had every skill point unlocked.
Yes.
And so I tried all of the styles other than the basic standard single hander. I never really messed around with that. I messed around with all the rest of them. I could not stand the blaster one at all. It was just
okay, interesting. I love that.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Just wasn't for me.
No, that's fine.
I loved going. Loved finding the biggest group of B1 droids I could find, and just doing the force shot where you just mark them all, and then you just mow them all down.
I didn't use that at all, actually.
Oh, I really enjoyed doing that.
I would use the quick fire triangle shot, especially in those moments where I was like, I'm about to die from this toad fucker. I'm gonna quickly jump away from him, take a few little quick slashes at him, keep rolling and dodging, and then I'm gonna shoot him until he dies. And that's how I got through a lot of those boss fights. That's the whole thing for me. Blaster saved me in so many boss fights.
So the crossguard has the best defense. That crossguard style has the best defense in terms of actually being able to block out of any of the lightsaber stances. So
you gotta remember, Pete, my whole view on life is Leroy Jenkins, so I just run in.
But I actually found that to your point, Dan, mowing down B1 battle droids, I used the double bladed or the dual weld for that, and you'd suck them all together with your force vacuum attack or whatever it is. And then I would just throw the lightsaber around me in the big circle. I think it was the double bladed.
Yeah, that was the triangle attack.
It was a lot of fun. In some of those challenges, the fractured butthole challenges, that was a lot of fun mowing down. There was a couple of challenges where there were 1,000 enemies in there.
Yeah, there were a couple. Yeah, I really love the fact they went back to battle droids. I thought that was the best move.
Yep. Well, it's the exact center point between Revenge of the third movie, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I was right the first time, and A New Hope. So it's exactly in the middle of those two core trilogies.
Yeah,
where the galactic,
which is where Raiders would find abandoned droid ships, and they would take them over. Yeah,
but it's also the crossover point between stormtroopers and droids. So I think they took full advantage of the timeline aspect of where they've put it.
I thought it was great. I particularly loved, obviously, a massive love for Clone Wars here as well. So that really helped. But especially being able to fight against the commando droids as well, because those pissed me off entirely through the Clone Wars series. The amount of times they killed just innocent Clone Wars soldiers. Those boys were innocent. They never committed any war crimes. But to finally get my revenge on them, I thought that was particularly cool. The Bedlam Raiders were interesting enough. Yeah.
Bit samey.
Samey. Yeah. I don't know if you guys did it, but if for anyone who's still listening to this and hasn't played the game, again, you're an idiot. And I will fight you. But if you go to the hole where you fight Ogdo Bogdo's son, did you know you could pull down the two hammer dudes and drop them in the pit?
No.
So you can pull down the two hammer dudes from above and drop them in the pit, and they kill Ogdo Bogdo halfway, and then you jump down and kill Ogdo Bogdo.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So halfway through the game, I was like, I'm never going to defeat Ogdo Bogdo. Oh, fuck it. I'll just kill those dudes up there. I wonder if I can force pull them. Oh, I can. They dropped into the hole. Oh, they're now fighting Ogdo Bogdo. This is brilliant. I'll just wait up here and pick off the survivor. And that's how I finally beat him.
What were you going to say, Dan? Yeah,
I was going to say the two things which are kind of two things I want to talk about, and it kind of goes to Tom's soundtrack and that, but also talks to sound design in general. I thought the sound design was brilliant, and the Stormtrooper banter. Oh, fuck me, did I love the Stormtrooper banter. There's a YouTube channel that I follow that is called AFK, and he does builds of little Star Wars videos of these two stormtroopers. One's a seasoned veteran, and one's a really
I know the guys.
off the cuff cadet.
Yep.
And they just have this great banter between them. And I actually had to look it up. It was so close, the banter from AFK to the game. I had to look it up to see whether he wrote the banter, but he didn't. But I thought it was another one of those. It could almost feel out of place in a serious storyline-driven Star Wars game, but then you go, yeah, but these guys are fucking bored.
Yeah.
They're out on the outer rim planets, and they've been thrown into these patrol missions walking around this bloody desert.
But the battle droids were the same. The banter between the droids and the raiders was hilarious as well. Especially the female raider talking to the battle droid, and the battle droid saying that he's gonna kill the Jedi, and she's like, "Well, you've got a high opinion of yourself," and that really slurred out speech or drawn out speech.
Yeah,
I thought that was great banter as well.
And the overall sound design, the saber sounded brilliant. The blaster was chunky, especially when you pulled off that hip shot.
The different lightsabers colors had different saber sounds. Yeah.
And I never got bored of shattering those force crystals, kneeling down and just listening to that really thumpy chest band. Well, I listened to it on really good headphones too. That thump of that force crystal shattering and then being absorbed.
I know you guys complained about it from the amount of times you had to restart the game, but I still thoroughly enjoy the opening credits of that game. It's like I know you've got some sort of deep-seated trauma for it, but it's almost like an explosion of like a ting sound, like the way that like it's crystalline. It's that crystalline sound of like that being broken.
Yeah, but I just want to play the game.
Yeah, but no one cares about what you want.
People obviously do, otherwise they wouldn't be fucking listening.
I found the relters to be fucking annoying. Just to change the subject.
Relters.
Those birds, the birds that you glide on, they really pissed me off throughout the game.
Oh, really?
Just the control system just wasn't intuitive at all. To go as far as
you're holding
possible.
a bird by its legs and trying to control it. I think it was pretty intuitive.
Left and right was fine, but like you have to press forward to go as far as it was possible to go. Oh, like the amount of times I fucking died at the start trying to get the hang of it was just.
Oh, in that particular section outside that temple.
Oh no,
the shattered remains.
That's where you have to know how to fly them properly, because otherwise you're just not going to be able to do that whole section of the game. But just anywhere that you had them, you'd pick them up on Kobo and at the top of a building or mountain that you've climbed. And if the bird doesn't go faster when I push forward, then I'm going to stop pushing forward, because it's just like it doesn't do anything except. You can't go as far unless you push forward the whole time. It doesn't speed the bird up. It changes the distance that you travel. It was just fucking frustrating. It was just a little miss for me.
I didn't know that. I just
nope. Miss me.
I just used they were a means to an end for me. They were I can't jump off this and not die, so I'll grab this bird's legs and get as close to the ground as I can.
So I want to talk about one of the biggest spoilers in the game, actually talking about those birds.
Okay, we're going to have to wrap soon too.
Yes. Which is the thing that's held me back from showing my platinum for so long is the brilliance of having Boba Fett come in at the end of the bounty hunter story. That really made that whole drawn out, and I was the one who had to wait for them to patch it so I could keep doing that story. And when I came back, I was like, that was fucking worth the wait. That was worth the fucking wait. Yeah. Like, because that is my plat. That's my plat thing. Is just it's Cal picking up the blaster, and it's Boba standing there being like, "Hey man, I've got no problem with you, except the fact you're a fucking Jedi, and I hate you as a principle. But I might one day have a problem with you, and you'll fucking find out about it." And I was like, "Oh, you're fucking Boba Fett's gonna fight me!" Oh yes.
And it sounded like Tamura did the voice for it too.
He was. Yeah, it was Tamara. Yeah, so I thought that was a really, really fun moment. I never expected that through the entire bounty hunter quest. I thought it was just like, cool, kill them all, and then I was saving them for the end because I was like, yeah, these are fun fights. Like I really enjoyed.
I saved
fights.
Rick the Doorman for nothing. I wanted
Oh,
to
the door technician. Oh, rest in peace, Rick.
He was great.
That is no. I think we really need to talk about this. That is one of the best bits of gameplay I've had in a decade. So for those who haven't played it, it is one of the hardest fucking bits of Jedi Survivor. You go through an entire Imperial base. Every single enemy they go through, like they throw at you through lifts, and you're just like, "Fuck, is this not over?" You get to the end of it. So I got to the end of it with half a life bar and one fucking like stim left. And I was like, shit, cool. I know there's a save point just up ahead. I've just got to get to there. I can save. It'll reset when I save and rest. And it doesn't matter. I can go back and fight some like basic grunts. And then this boss fucking appears down a long fucking hallway. And you're like, Jesus Christ, no, not now. I don't want to do that again. It's a scout trooper. It's called Rick the Door Technician. And he runs at you, and then you kill him in one hit, and you go, I lost it. I think I threw the controller in laughter. I could not control myself. And you know what? The developers knew this because they tested that sequence multiple times, put that boss at the end, and the reactions they got from every test player was hysterical laughter. That they go, we need to keep this in. This is one of the greatest pranks we've ever played on gamers ever.
Yeah,
but the hype bus.
Respawn, I absolutely applaud you. That was one of the most beautiful gaming moments I've ever experienced. And, you know, like, wow. That was, it was so fucking funny. It was so unexpected. And it was just like that absolute tense moment of, fuck, a boss. And then you kill it and go, oh, it was like, what? Like, no, but yes. Like, yeah, it was.
I thought it was cool the
beautiful.
fans jumped on that bandwagon because there was a lot of stuff on Reddit saying the hardest boss in the whole game is Rick the Door Technician. And it was starting to pick up its own little hype train. Oh,
there's fan art about Rick the Door Technician as an entire Star Wars character. There's Star Wars posters made with Rick as the central character. It was one of the most beautiful moments that's ever happened in gaming in the last 10 years. I think it's absolutely sensational. And my hat off to Respawn for thinking of that. It's genius.
It's now also a very good in-joke. It's one of those things, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
All right, just closing out. What do we? How do we rate this compared to Fallen Order?
My whole thing with this versus Fallen Order, I'm going to jump right in here because I am quick off the mark. Fallen Order was really as we said, it was a discovery story. It was a running away story. It was trying to hide. This was almost like it was an arrogant story to the point where it was like, I want you to find me, but I know I can beat you kind of thing. It was a really nice jump from Cal 5 years ago to Cal now. And then halfway through, it really ripped the rug out from underneath me and became quite a personal story and like personal growth. And like, Cal, you really don't need to be Dak. You don't need to take the Empire on yourself. Like, there is a lot of preservation you can do.
That's a deep cut.
You're welcome. And I found that to be a really important growth point for the character. And I felt the other characters, they didn't need to like fall in line with that growth, but they really, like, the way they wrote them, like, really built up that growth for Cal. It was incredibly moving. The end story, like, I still choke up about it. Like, it really fucking hit me. Like, that whole end post the betrayal on Jeddah. I like emotionally still have not recovered from that. Like, it fucked me. Like, I was so committed to the idea of Bode and Cal taking on the Empire together.
Yeah.
Like, that really fucking hit me hard. And that end burial sequence, like the music around it as well, and the way they just like did it through, like, Cal was in slow motion, but everyone else was in like regular motion. Like,
that was a beautifully shot sequence.
That fucking fucked me. That really hit me hard. And I said to Dan when he finished it, and like hadn't had the chance to talk to you about it, but just like I put my controller down and just went and sat outside for like an hour. Just like, it really, really, really hit me. But I really, on the same page, I really liked the loneliness of Fallen Order. I think is probably the best way to describe it. Of like, it really, really encapsulated that whole like, holy shit, Order 66 just happened. You might just be the last Jedi, like in the universe. We know he's not, but like it really, really like portrayed that kind of thing. This just felt like more like, yeah, look, being the last Jedi probably isn't the greatest thing. You know what's the greatest thing is actually helping the rebellion. Like it was a real movement forward for him. So that's where I left it. Yeah. I'm excited that there's obviously going to be a third. Like if they left it there,
I think there definitely will be.
Like I would probably start crucifying people. Yeah, there has to be a third, but like I think they've left it in a really, really strong point to grow off.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Dan?
I think the growth of Cal in this one was the biggest thing for me. His character. Well, I guess all of their character growth, even through people that you don't interact with that much, even though she's spoken of a lot, and you do play of it, Seer. The growth of Seer's character you can see she's come a long way from rejecting the Force because of the loss of her Padawan in the first one to reconnecting at the end of the first one to becoming this archivist for the entire Order, for what's left of the Order in this one. I thought it was brilliant character growth on all of their behalf, but I think it was also, I felt it was a real flex for the studio as well. The first one was such a huge success from them not having made a game in this vein before. And they were very much on trial for the first one. They were very much, if this works, we might give you a sequel. If it doesn't, you know what? Single player games are dead, which is exactly what all those big companies were saying at the time. And then fucking Respawn hits it out of the park with Fallen Order. And they go, you know what? Okay, we'll give you a sequel, see how it goes. And what I think they've done here is they've just, in my eyes, whether or not it really happened, it felt like a really big fuck you. Single player games are not dead. Look at what we can do. You gave us a limited budget for the first one. You gave us a bigger budget for this one. Look at what we've done. We've made the best Star Wars content in the last 10, 12, 15 years since Revenge of the Sith. We've made the best Star Wars content here with the writers we've got, and it's a fucking video game. You know what? Fuck you, mainstream media. This is what can be done with the IP in the right hands.
And it was
that to me was the biggest thing.
Yeah. It was a small story. It was
story.
It has a big backdrop. It has important consequences.
Your comment around it's a small story with a big backdrop really hit me. Like that was like, yeah, that's a really good way of describing it. Yeah.
For me, I thought the Fallen Order was almost a who am I knee-jerk reaction to the situation that's going on around me. I don't really have time to think too hard about things. I'm kind of just falling into myself. Whereas this second game, he has an opportunity to decide the direction, and he needs to figure himself out. And I felt like I connected with the themes in this game a lot better than I did the first one. Like I said, to me, it was a lot about family, about making the right decisions to hang on to that family and to find your place in the universe. That's really what he's trying to do. So, brilliant. I reckon that's a perfect first UpLate episode.
I'm gonna drop some facts on everyone at the end of this episode. So we just talked about how it was received by especially EA as a first player game. So Fallen Order was released in November 2019. EA confirmed that it was the fastest selling digital launch for any Star Wars game within the first 2 weeks on sale. It had sold 8 million copies by the end of January 2020. More than 10 million units were sold by March 31st, 2020. By the end of June 21, the game had attracted more than 20 million players.
Oh, fuck.
So for anyone who's ever said that a Star Wars like single player game is dead.
He's an idiot.
You're wrong. I'll quickly. I'm just bringing up the Survivor. I'll see if I can get the sales ones of that.
Well, while you look that up,
the Survivor as well, in terms of its like reception, it got 9s and 4s out of 9s out of 10s, 4s out of 5s across the board. Sales within the first week, it sold 16,000 physical copies, which doesn't take into account all the digital copies that people bought. In the United Kingdom, Star Wars Survivor were 30% higher than that of Fallen Order. So it was the most downloaded game on the US and European PlayStation Store in April and May 2023. So it's obviously a winning formula.
Yeah.
So I know that execs look at just that, and as Star Wars fans, we actually kind of need to look at that to be like, if we're going to get it, like we need to make sure that the execs are going to go, yes, we get all the money, but we're like, cool, we get a fucking amazing Star Wars game.
But it was no, but I think the point is it was a good story, and then it was a good Star Wars game. They put
you're 100% right. Yeah,
they put storytelling and plot first, and then you used Star Wars universe and lore as a plot vehicle. But that's all. It wasn't about Star Wars. It was about Cal Kestis and his friends in a Star Wars universe.
You're 100% right. Yeah.
All right. I think we might leave it there. Cool. For our bite-sized episode. Ran a little bit over, but, it wouldn't be Pixels and Pints if we didn't.
No, it's close enough.
Close enough. We'll take all your C-bombs out and it'll be under 90 minutes.
Well, if we're doing that, then let me take you out for the end of the night. Thank you very much for listening. We're going to go to bed now. So, sweet dreams and everything for you. This has been Pixels and Pints Up Late. Night-night now.